Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy Wednesday to join me. I really appreciate that. Tonight we're talking about vapor into water. Okay, so about 20 years ago or so, at the beginning of the 21st century, Y2K, you feel me? Other things were going down other than, the presidential election, Y2K, of course, and the era of bling bling hip hop. Because I was there for that. And yeah, Lil Wayne's still doing it, you know? And so obviously it has been some time since the turn of the century. And back then there was talk about how there was proof that we could put nets in various places where typically droughts were being incurred as a result of climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it, you feel me? But definitely a change in the environment. And nonetheless, now we are in 2024, and wouldn't you know, these programs definitely work. And so, link in the description below because this is an impromptu speech given, about the video that is in the link in the description below. Sort of like a doc talk, I really enjoy watching documentaries and I want to share, what I watch with y'all because I feel like if you're into what the channel has to offer, and you're vibing with us and all of that, I really appreciate, then you'll really get down on some of these high quality produced videos from people that have been doing this for a long time in terms of like major networks and stuff that I find when I'm looking for videos to watch. And obviously, then I get ideas of things to talk about and so forth. And I don't always watch things that are, you know, in agreement with what I, think originally. I like to watch all different kinds of things, but again, it's worth your time. I think it's like a 45-minute documentary, but it talks about how in places there are off the Sahara coast, there are nets set up so that it can gather vapor from fog from clouds, and it's actually this really, really cool, simple process that then captures the vapor and the tiny little water molecules or particle, the tiny little water, and then it captures it. It's reforested areas in Morocco. Also, there's these programs all over the world again, and they're focused in places where there is an ongoing drought and so forth. So it's just a wonderful resource to have. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, like, why don't all major cities, have some sort of nets, around them or like on the perimeter of some places to capture all of the extra, fog, or especially in low-lying valleys where most of us live, in different parts of the country, just kind of at the edge of where the mountains are. I think that'd be kind of a good place to catch as much water as possible. Especially, being here in the desert, I think it's a pretty good idea. It's low cost, and again, the benefits are tremendous. Check out that documentary. Again, it talks with qualified professionals about how their decades long experience has made it so that the process is pretty streamlined now, and we now know indefinitely like what happens, as long as there's a strong wind current and as long as it's near clouds in some kind of a capacity. Again, there's scientific rules to this stuff, but they're actually pretty flexible in that the ability to capture excess precipitation via fog is a wonderful way to absolutely try and gather all of, rainfall. I mean, in terms of even being able to divert some of that because it's just a really cool thing. And vapor into water is something I think that industrialized nations, and again, just everybody should be thoroughly looking into, I'd say. Farmers, just because, again, it is a cool way to gather fresh water, and it's often needed, obviously, in places that are populated and are suffering through ongoing droughts, perpetual droughts, as it would be, because of um, our influence to the environment. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think vapor into water is a wonderful idea. Like, probably for the 10th time, definitely check out this documentary, link in the description below. And I just am down with the whole idea. There are some renewable um, sources of energy that I'm obviously more, for, that I advocate a little bit more. And that's obviously solar is a little bit too strenuous. I'd say it takes a lot of work to get arguably very little power. So solar farms are something. And again, I've seen many solar farms on my way to Joshua Tree National Park. They're everywhere. In terms of in the middle of nowhere, off of I-40. As you travel in the heart of the country, through the heart of the country or whatever. But they're they're too big. They're awfully expensive. Maintenance is high. Solar panels can only generate so much power for the consumer, and unfortunately, it's been hijacked by state utility companies anyway. And so there's real no benefit, I'd argue, on a consumer point from utilizing some kinds of renewable energy, but making sure that we capture all of our rainfall, and get it to places that need it, I think is crucial and essential to providing stability in the regions that obviously we know that, Salt Lake, for example, right, in Salt Lake City, is real bad. In the Nevada desert, all of the water is essentially kind of running out. So I would, yeah, definitely think that this is a practical way to obtain fresh water, and otherwise it just dissipates into the air, quite literally, and not really doing anything big in the longer terms of like the water cycle or whatever, because it's too small. So, but if you capture it, it turns into more. A little bit plus a little bit equals a little bit more. And enough of something gives you a product, and or I say product in the pejorative sense that human beings should all have access to this product, which is fresh and clean water. I mean, you can't get people to work, or you can't do much at all without water. And so, yeah, I think vapor into water is a really cool idea. I definitely think that you guys should look more into it as well. I appreciate you watching the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, take a couple of seconds and consider it. I'd really appreciate that. It helps the channel grow a bunch. And I hope that you guys have a lovely Wednesday night, okay? Bye.